Well, that's
And
what
it seems kind of. So I'd like to welcome you to the August school board meeting. Fred, sit down. We'll start with the pledge. Did I do that right? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I was mistaken. We'll do the roll call now.
Peggy Jones-Blanchard. Here. Tracy Brickey.
Here.
Sally Hurst Dickinson. Here. Jessica Wheeler-Russell. Here. Laura Vincent. Here. Eric Hansen. Here. Daniel York. Here. Owen Harrington. Also absent. Peggy Jones-Blanchard. Here. Oh, sorry.
You're here. You're here twice. It's good. Okay, so next on the agenda, the minutes of the previous meeting. So we have to have a motion first and then we discuss.
Yep.
So can I have a motion? Anybody second? Eric, thank you. Any discussion? Sally?
Let's see, so item number 3, I abstained last time because I hadn't been able to attend the June meeting, so I just wanted to put that on record.
Okay,
Item 10, I recommend a comma between Jessica Wheeler-Russell, comma, second by Sally Dickinson. Item 18, I recommend in both paragraphs hyphenating out of district, since it's one.
yeah,
And for the sake of consistency throughout, I would recommend dropping periods at the end of each item. Some items have them and some don't, so I'm just.
drop them all. Okay.
Like put them all in, not abandon.
Include them all.
Include them.
Drop them into the document.
I have one.
Okay,
And others present, from Julia Jones and Secretary.
oh, okay, thank you. Anyone else? All those in favor of the minutes as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okey dokey pokey. And now comes the first of public comment for any agenda items. Anyone? Anyone? Okay. So the SAU report on MV Business and Finance will begin again in October, right? The October meeting. Good news. Did everybody see the good news? And how cool is it that they're doing free haircuts again this year? I'm really excited. And Fred, did you put electricity in so that we can get the fridge and the freezer in that little space for the?
Let me know when you need it. Right now, we're a little bit.
Are you? So it is good news, but I just spoke with Ken on outside, who is the principal at the Learning Center, and the application was approved for the food pantry, and they measured I guess this morning, for a fridge, a freezer, and shelving to put in that area. And they want to have a ribbon cutting. They want to be open before school starts. So I'll let y'all know. It's downstairs.
It's going to be the closet in Mary's office. It currently has some plastic shelving in it.
That plastic
The old
shelving's,
shower? Yes, the old shower. Just asked me to take everything out of there for her file. I wasn't gonna do that either.
Excellent.
Stuff in there right now.
And our student representative report will start in September. And we have no committee reports, but we do need to set some.
Yes.
Catherine?
We do need to set a policy committee. So if we want to take a look at
Can you move that a little closer?
closer to me.
Yeah.
Either probably either next Monday or the one after that. I'm guessing the third one, we're all going to be busy with back to school.
I'm good for either the 14th or the 21st.
Yeah, the 21st is my first full PD day with my staff. I would like the 14th.
Yeah, I guess
It'll be a long day.
Okay. And what time should we start that at?
The 6:30 work for everybody, or is that 2 or 5:30? I don't know what works for people over the summer.
I'm good with 5:30.
5:30, we can start earlier. Does that work?
Does that work, Sally?
So it's next Monday.
Terrific. Thank you. And they'll be at the SAU.
And for the next committee meeting, we're anticipating receiving something from the MVAA about negotiations sometime soon. So we'd like to have a negotiations meeting. Celia and I have spoken about the negotiations and maybe some changes for this year. So we're wondering if maybe we could take that 5:30 slot before the next board meeting on September 11th, if we could do a 5:30 negotiations committee meeting. We could even go 6 o'clock. It'll be a short meeting because it'll just be us. And it's really just to talk about a couple of things as far as negotiations go this year. If you want to go 6 o'clock, we can do 6 to 6:30 and we'll meet here, if that works for folks.
That is September 11th.
September 11th, yes.
Yes.
All right. So 6 o'clock right here on September 11th, half hour before the board meeting. Yep, thank you.
Any other committees?
No, that'll be it.
Fred?
for now, I think.
Okay. I have nothing for old business. So new business, starting with personnel.
No, probably check the green light. Should be-
She usually turns on the mic for you. I think it's on.
So in the online packets that you received, there was one resignation, a second grade teacher over at Pennacook who has taken a administrative position in a different district. So we released her. Obviously, we're not going to hold her back from something that she's been looking for a while. And we do have interviews scheduled this week to replace that second grade teacher. There also are 3 people who have already been hired and offered contracts and signed them. It's interesting, of the 3 people, 2 of them have worked for us in the past and are now coming back to work for us again. And the third one is an MV grad. That's all.
That's fabulous. Thank you. Overnight trips. Catherine? Or is it Brandy?
Nope, that's me.
Okay.
So in your packet, you'll see a list of overnight trips that may be happening throughout the school year. The only change over last year is the addition of a third night to the cross-country trip.
It's not in this packet. It's in the online
Oh,
packet.
I apologize.
That's okay.
It's on the back.
I was gonna say, I thought I saw it.
Oh.
Overnight trips are.
Oh, I'm
I thought
sorry.
You were talking about the free hires.
I'm sorry.
What was the addition?
To the cross-country trip in August, it used to be 2 nights. It's 3 nights this year.
We would like board action on
Right.
this to approve the overnight trips.
So moved. I'll second it.
Any other questions? All those in favor of approving the overnight trips? Or they're not all guaranteed to happen. They just are the proposed.
Yeah, there's
I mean, there's
We're-
always the,
yes, something could happen and they may not all come to pass, but we wanted to plan ahead. Certainly,
Mhm.
that is the goal that we have these trips.
okay, thanks. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Excellent. Manifests and journal entries. I know I signed them. I'm assuming Celie did.
Celia did as well.
And did y'all read them? Cover to cover, right? Memorize them.
There will be a quiz, Eric. Thank you.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. Okay, I'll, could I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I need to abstain because somehow I just missed it.
Okay,
I apologize.
thank you for being honest. Sometimes I miss like emails too, and I'm like, how did I miss that? I don't know.
Well, I
Board
saw
chair,
it, and then I just like forgot.
board chairperson report. So she's not here, so she doesn't get to talk. I did talk to her after the last meeting. She was very excited that it was a quick meeting and thought it went well. So that was good. So assistant super,
Yes, I do have a couple things.
more than one day.
Yes. So I'm excited to share that MVSD was awarded a competitive grant. It's just under 48,000, and it is dedicated to supporting pre-engineering efforts at all grade levels.
Excellent.
And in addition to that, if you've been on campus at any of the schools, you probably are aware that even though it's summer, we still have students actively involved. Our extended school year programs are happening. The elementary STEAM program has been happening at Pennacook. Webster and Salisbury held an adventure camp right after school got out. 56% of students in 3rd through 5th grade participated in that. The middle school has offered a variety of summer enrichment programs, and they will be presenting more about that in the future at a board meeting. And that has included the 6th grade transition program. And currently band camp is underway here at the high school. Our counselors and social workers are continuing to work supporting families, and teachers and a variety of staff members have been continuing to do training. We've had responsive classroom and challenge course facilitator training happening. So it's been busy.
Thank you. Your turn.
All right, thank you.
Sure, no
Uh,
problem.
So for the last month, since the last meeting, I've been battling pneumonia.
Oh.
So getting a little better each day. Don't make me laugh. That's the bad time. You're fine unless I'm coughing. And that's when so don't make me laugh because that's, like I said, that's when I have to step aside. So that kind of beat me down a little bit, but getting through. We are working currently on an early release schedule. So we haven't had one for a number of years, but we had a couple of close calls last year. And we've been talking about an early release schedule. So we're in development of that right now. So it'll be similar to a delay due to weather. We had some storms come in last year that, if they had bumped a little bit earlier, we could have, put the buses, driving to some of our, further towns where we get a little more snow in Salisbury than you folks do here in Pennacook. So we should have that good to go for the beginning of the year. Not that we anticipate using it very often, and certainly not early in the year, but better to have one on the record, rather than calling an entire day, or if something happens, during the day. Again, just like a snow day call, we'd like to make it the night before if if the weather suits that sort of call, and it would be the same for an early release.
This should set a time for the early release.
Yeah, so it's going to be cranking everything back 2 hours. So Chris Burke and the folks in transportation are working on what it would be for each bus stop, similar to when we have a delay, we change and say, here's the delay bus, here's when you should expect the bus to arrive at the bus stops. We're doing the same thing, but on the back end of the day. So we anticipate having that done fairly soon. And as I emailed the board shortly after the state board meeting on July 20th, the state board unanimously accepted the tuition agreement between Andover and Merrimack Valley for the next 10 years. So we're glad that we had the full support of the state board starting next school year, 24-25. Right, and then for 10 years from there. We just got back from the administrators retreat, where we brought administrators from both districts together. And I was talking with Dan before the meeting, and it's really just such a great time to just get work done, but also get to know people on a different level instead of always being in this, the formal business setting, and really just get people to mix. And we threw some big problems out there and got people in groups and working on them, and both with transitions with Andover to MV, from elementary to middle to high, and as well as some of our bigger initiatives and our focus on, sort of better together, and pulling people together to solve, some of our problems and to strengthen things that we're really good at. So it was a great time. We were in York. So I think that's all I have for today.
Thank you very much.
Next is topics for the next board meeting.
Sometime this year, I'm thinking probably in the curriculum committee, I'd like a kind of update on music and how everything's going. If there's if there are enough resources there, are there any gaps or anything?
Thank you.
And I'm not sure if this is too early to ask for, but possibly an update on the studies that the board approved. The field study and there was another study. Yeah,
The Learning Center.
just about where we are.
Uh-huh.
I have a question. Someone approached me and asked whether or not the district might somehow organize a voter registration drive. I had no idea, obviously I have no authority, but I don't know whether or not that's something that we could do or would do. And I don't know if this is the place to be asking the question, but I'm going to ask it since we only meet once a month. So is that something that we as a board would do, that you guys as the
For
administrators-
18-year-old high school students?
I think it's for
Everyone?
I think the interest was just an open voter registration drive on, maybe at the high school. So I don't know, have we ever done anything like that?
I'm not sure. Let me look into it
Okay.
and get back to you.
Actually, people in Arden have asked me about that and trying to figure out, I know there's certain things we can do and cannot do. I don't even know what we do now to encourage students to sign up when they're old enough to vote. We used to have some efforts. like 10 or 15 years ago to make sure they got signed up. I'm not even sure what we're doing. And well, there's a group in Loudon, Leslie, I can't even remember her name right now, but she really is, she is interested in, what can we do? I know there's certain things you have to be careful of. So maybe, I'm thinking maybe it'd be good if she came in and talked to somebody at the SAU or something, one of the, something. I'd be willing to come and listen.
Anyone else have any topics for next? Did we have something last time? I don't even remember.
No, we do not.
Okay,
And we do not have reason to go into non-public.
okay. So next would be our second round of public comment. I didn't recognize the administrator in Phew. Just Fred. I recognized him.
Sure. Thank you, Tracy, Madam Chair.
I don't think she really meant to give you the floor, Fred.
No, go
I
ahead,
think she
Fred.
was just saying hi.
Oh, she gave me the floor.
Then grab a mic if you're gonna start yapping.
Less than 5 minutes,
All right,
Okay.
grab a mic.
Hit the
unless they
time,
force.
hit the time.
So I just wanted to very briefly
Thank you, sir.
explain. All right, there's 6 on this side, so you get an extra one. You notice the construction out here, unless you came in from the south. This is part of the Safe Routes to School plan from 2014, the travel plan. And everything on this campus, this again, Safe Routes to School was K-8. So, but because the high school's here, obviously it involves that. So the thing that we wanted to do is, it was $1.4 million. The maximum grant was $1 million. That means we would have had to put $400,000 on the warrant. At the time, Mark and I, and since then, Randy and I have discussed that if we can do it piecemeal, then let's do that. So last year, we put a sidewalk on Beatty Drive, which was the first time that there was ever a sidewalk there. And this year, I was gonna do the back access road when Martha Drucker, the temporary engineer for the city of Concord, although she's been there forever, great, great woman, called and asked me if I had any plans, and I did. The back access road, which means putting a sidewalk along the fields. And she said, I have $40,000 if you want to do Allen Street. And the project's about $100,000. And I said, I guess we just changed to Allen Street. Turned down 40 grand. So that's what they're doing. And if you look, right here, most of the work is on Community Drive and the end. That had to be redone in order to get parking spaces on Allen Street. Now, there's people that park there every afternoon anyways. But now we'll have the street, the parking spaces, a green space, and then the sidewalk. We own this piece of Allen Street. 30 feet on one end, 50 feet on the other. So now, nowhere on campus will you be able to leave going up Community Drive, which has been a big ask from the city of Concord because of everybody that lives on these 2 streets has been pushing them for years and years. So now you'll come down Community Drive and you go into between the middle school and high school. When you're coming from the west, and go by the blue portico, you can either go out back and park, or you can come around and you have to go Allen Street.
So when does Community Drive become one way? At Dalton Street?
It becomes one way right here.
No, like
and
coming
only right
down.
there. So we can leave the SAU, turn left, and go right out to Village Street.
Okay.
But people anywhere else on this campus cannot go up Community Drive.
Gotcha. I
So-
understand.
They can turn to
Uh-huh.
the left if they want, or they can go to the right.
Gotcha.
Or whatever it is.
It's at the superintendent's office. Okay, now I understand.
So what I'd like to do, and I don't think Randy will have an issue, I want to send for the high school and middle school kids, just send something, email, however we do it, email flash, with a smaller version of this map, just so people know.
Mhm.
In the morning, we have traffic, high school and middle school traffic up past the youth center,
Yeah.
or community center as it's called now. So that's about it. There's 10 or 12 parking spaces here. Everything worked out. We just put in new fire hydrants 4 or 5 years ago, and they don't have to be moved at all.
That's good.
We're gonna plant lilacs that John Bentley arranged for us through Milliken's over in Loudon. Matter of fact, he calls me every day, make sure you water those lilacs. They're like 45 free.
Wow, that's awesome.
And there's 4 or 5 different varieties from here up to here. I want to get a small one, and then we're gonna plant a couple of trees out there as well. I was talking to Fred Schaefer from the city of Concord today.
Fred, I have a question. Does making the one-way on Community Drive, starting at the superintendent's driveway, anyway, can make problematic an evacuation route? If there has been, so in no way?
Nope.
Because what is your evacuation route? When you have to evacuate?
Depending on what happens. What's the evacuation?
But if you had to evacuate from the front of the building, then you're gonna have to circle around, you're not two exits.
We'll either go this way, this way, this way. And quite frankly, if it's serious enough, I'll lead the charge right out the community drive. I'll stick around and help if I can do something, but if not, I'm not hanging around. Any questions? I'm at 4.5 minutes. You want to say, Jessica?
I don't know.
Green, a median street, is gonna be a raised.
Yes, there's already a curving around it. They filled in most of this today. This is where the old Sirat walk is. This is where the new one is. This one we're taking out, the original one, and we're putting in this one that meets ADA requirements. And they are not stopping right on.
Thank you.
That was Fred's 5-minute timer. That's good.
Okay.
That you said that.
So next year, I have a lot of stuff to do next year. So I'll probably, this will be my, this will be my, this is going down the gate, I'll go from here to the second gate. So it'll be relatively cheap next year, and they're just gonna dig up the fires on fire marking, and that will be the site.
And where are the lilacs being planted?
Lilacs are gonna be planted
On
in this,
there.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
and we'll probably put some in this green space as well. John just keeps coming up with them, and I'm more than happy to, they're beautiful, they smell good, and it's a great remembrance. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
6:13.
That's a good question.
So we don't have anything to go into non-public for.
I just have a question. How are we doing as far as hiring? I mean, we have to have a lot of openings.
Support staff, we have some openings, but as far as professional staff, we have that second grade at Pennacook and 2 special education teachers.
Where?
One at Pennacook.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Just
just one now, one at Pennacook.
Can I ask a question just about bus drivers? Are we doing
Looking for bus
still a little tough like last year? Because we ran into some problems with
Yeah,
Yep.
Sounds like we're doing better than most though.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it does sound like that. Anybody else?
Question. Procedural, maybe have an email that I think a lot of us probably got.
Oh, no, I don't. When?
Listed it to see,
Yeah.
When did you get it?
well, the second part of it this morning.
Oh,
Mhm.
I think so, no.
I didn't get anything.
Jessica, I think you're on there, I saw Randy.
I've responded to the right
Yes.
to know request.
Okay.
I just didn't reply all because there are people from 5 different districts
People from all over. I
on
didn't know.
there, any email address that could be thrown in there, but I did respond to the right to know and got a response back thanking me for the response. Sure.
Okay. Any, Fred?
I need another minute, I'm sorry. All this stuff is coming in between. Charlie Needling, I think you all know Charlie.
Mhm.
He approached me last fall, I guess. And asked permission to walk the school's properties. And he came back and said, the only school right now that would be worth select cutting, White Pine would be Loudon Elementary School, up on the 24 acres, well, 17, there's fields of 7. So he and I walked that last week, the beginning of last week, and he thinks that we can probably make somewhere between $12,000 and $16,000. I don't know where that goes, but it goes somewhere. Goes to the taxpayers, I guess, one way or the other. So he's gonna start seeking out, he recommended a John White logger. Charlie's a certified forester in the state of New Hampshire. He works with a lot of different loggers, north, south, east, west. So I told him to go ahead and do that. Just so you know, if you hear something, we've been working on that for a while, so we're gonna do that. It's good for the land, puts a few dollars in our pocket.
How much is it taking? Do you know?
I don't know yet. He's gonna go out and start, whatever that's called, we'll stick with the numbers on it, not a yardstick. He's gonna start doing that, and then he wants to do it this fall. Something about it's a good cone year, or, I'm not familiar with this type of stuff. I burn it. Okay?
Thanks, Fred. Quick, somebody adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay,
Wow.
all those in favor? You don't really need to vote for.
You can take this.
Very good, thank you. It's a record reading. I know. I thought last time it was a record.
I don't know, you take it home just to put it in a thing. Anyone want this?
I'll take it.